use the real thing?
It's a little bit of all of that, but it's also that if you were in a studio and you had an API console that you recorded it on and then you mixed it on the API console, there's no crossover of the frequencies to have these other notches of area to bring out character. So, you know, a lot of times somebody might mix on a different console because now you have a new character that you can, you know, it's a new palette. So everything, if it's all one algorithm that makes the distortions and the EQs, I like to introduce other stuff that mixes it up, and it just gives me faster access in a lot of ways to what I might be looking for, rather than sitting there internally trying to build stuff in the fractal, which can take many, many hours.
Yeah, I've like just done a little bit of like modeling myself, and I starting to do that. I appreciate so much more how much you've gotten these things to be so accurate, and
yeah,
it's just like it can be mind-numbing. Like I've spent like 5 hours on patch, and I'm just like, I can't even imagine how much time we spent in the studio doing.
Oh yeah, I mean we did. I guess I could try to demo it for you, but we did a lot of work to on this last tour. We played Van Halen's "Push Comes to Shove," so I was trying to replicate that guitar sound, you know, for the solo and everything. And I was using a guitar that was capable of getting close to the sound, but then on tour, see this black and white one, these guys made this guitar for me. They had reached out and said, hey, we want to build you something, what do you want? I said, well, let's do like an homage to the Van Halen 2 Star guitar, but put it on a Strat. And so that guitar also has some oddball pickup choices that I put in it, but it didn't sound like the other guitar on the presets, and so on tour I don't have a lot of time to mess with changing the presets a lot, so I had to do a little bit of something, but I can try to play that so you can see what it sounds like if you guys want me to check it out. Yeah,
is that a Vega trim, by the way?
Yeah, I like the Vega trim a lot because it works as a replacement for a regular tremolo. You don't have to do anything to route your guitar, but you can pull up and down, and it stays in tune really well. So let's see what I can do with this Van Halen thing. So the crazy part about this is that I have to step on I go from the rhythm sound to the lead sound. I have to step on the lead sound slightly early, otherwise the preset change affects the sound of the first note I have to hit in the solo. And I have to go from here to here and like bend a note, and so sometimes it's like really not happening. So we'll see. You know, if that happens, I'll try it again. But I was like, man, that's the coolest thing I've ever heard. I want to learn that solo. And it was way too hard. I couldn't figure it out for many years. And it's awkward, it's strange, technique-wise, you know. he does this really cool thing to open it where you have to bend up and then slide. So you could play that this way. It doesn't have the vibe, you know? So it's like such a cool thing. It sounds like he's using the vibrato bar, but there's too many things, too many nuances in that to be able to do that with the vibrato bar. So when I got to hang out with him several times, you know, I was like, play that solo. Let me see what you did there, you know? And he goes, oh yeah, it was this. Yeah, so pretty cool. But yeah, there's so many cool nuances and layers in that thing. So I'm just happy to be able to be even remotely in the ballpark to play it, you know. So like there's a guy named Don Ward in Florida that made the neck and the body. And then this other guy, Scott Bawden, did the paint job. And then there was another guy, Dave, I think it's Semple is his last name, wired it up and then did like the setup on the guitar. So it was 3 different guys, but you know, Scott Bawden was the guy that reached out to me and said, hey, I want to make something for you. And he is the guy, if you've ever seen that SG that Phil X plays that's painted like the Van Halen guitar, he painted that one. So he's really good at doing the Van Halen stuff if you are looking for something like that. But he's got his company called Fugly Guitars. So there's that. All right, so this lick, so, you know, it's all based out of the pentatonic box. So let me put it up here in the key of A. So if this is the pentatonic box, we're all used to that. You know, we've all played that down here. But what I'm doing is I have this concept where if it'll be easier to see here, and then I'll do it up high. If this is our home bass, right here in the middle of the guitar, basically, if that's our home bass right there, I look at it as I got some friends to the left and I have some friends to the right. So what do I have that's my friend to the left? If this is my home bass, I've got this. And if I'm back to home bass, I've got this. So you could either have 2 notes per string or you could have 3 notes per string. And you can shift. And that kind of works as you go up and down the neck. So what I was trying to do was utilize my friends on the left and my friends on the right, but then also mix up phrasing of groups of 5 and 7 and expand that out. You know, so one thing that I do is I have an exercise where I will say, all right, how do I get 5 notes on 1 string? How do I get 5 notes on 2 strings? How do I get 5 notes on 3 strings? And I'll show you those, but that's what led me to then be able to mix up this whole combination of stuff. So it's this. If I'm going to do 5 notes on 1 string in the key of A, and this is my home bass right here, my friend to the left immediately in A, you know, pentatonic or A Dorian is this. And then my friend to the right would be this. So those are the 3 shapes that I can play with. But if I want to make 5 notes, I could do 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I could do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. But watch what happens. If I play 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 long enough, you'll start to hear it as 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. The more I play that, it sounds like I'm doing this. But I started as... The brain usually likes the smaller number before the bigger number. It just starts, you know, keeping track of it that way. So 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 is how you would think of a 5. And my dad has songs like Kid Nazarf. So that's all 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3. So as I was showing you, this is one string. But if I wanted to do 2 strings, a very simple thing is I could just do 1 2 1 2 3. But then I was thinking, well, what's a cool way I could do it across 3 strings? And I started looking at the idea of like, okay, friend on the left or neighbor to the right. And if I looked at all the notes in pentatonic, if you played them as a chord, everything on the right side sounds like this. Everything on the left side is just on the 5th fret here. So I started to see like, okay, what if I take some notes and I then find a place in between where I can do 2 notes, then 3 across 3 strings. So I would do 1 2 1 2 3, and that turns into a pick, downstroke, and a pull off, and then up, up, up. So, and then I can do that again. Yeah, and so doing that, I was like, well, if I do it backwards, or if I change it and make it 1 2 3 1 2, and I do ascending, I can start flipping things around. So if I take the same idea down here, and I'm up here, I can do 1 2 3 1 2, 1 2 3 1 2, 1 2 3 1 2, 1 2 3 1 2. And I'm just doing down, 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 up, and then sometimes I'll pick it or I'll just hammer it. So, but the lick is made out of flipping it around. So I go, so that turns into the 5 there. So this is 1 2 3 1, and then 1 2 1 2 3. So. So then I would do another 5. So 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 is a 7. So it's just a numbers game, you know.
So that's how you do that.
Yeah, but what's crazy is like if you just heard it, you would be like, where are those notes coming from? Like I can't even picture where they exist on the guitar, but they're all stacked underneath each other because there's a lot of fourths involved. You know, so when you see it, you're like, okay, that makes sense. But if you just heard it, you'd be like, where are you putting your fingers? Like this is
That's
like
exactly what happened.
Yeah, it's like a cascade of notes, and you know, it's like a waterfall. You're like, wait, well, you know, what is happening here? So that's how that goes. But there's some like position shifting involved in it, and some picking articulation that's a little bit weird. So, but if you have the basic principles of those groups of 5, where it's like a downstroke and a pull off, and then up, 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 you can make your way through a lot of those groupings. So, you know, 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3, downbeat or whatever. But I have an exercise that I have taught people where it's like I say, start making melodies to your phone number. You can write so many different melodies, and you will play things that you would never think to play if you're only thinking about just making the phrases out of the number. So let's say we're going to do an 8. That's just going to be 2 4s, right? So you could just do 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, or you could think of it as just 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, right? So 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. So let's say we were trying to write a melody to 8 6 7 5 3 0 9, you know. The Jenny Jenny song from the 80s, some of you have probably heard it. Now, 8675309 is the numbers that we have to use to make a melody. So if we have an 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, we could just say it's just 2 3s, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So 8, 6, 7, we would do a 5 plus a 2. So I could do like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So let's do that much. It would be like. So already it sounds like something you would never play, but it has a cool rhythm and a flow, but it's only because you're connecting numbers. You could have any numbers and sequence them however you want. You could come up with millions of ideas. So 8, 6, 7, 5, 3, we need another 3, so we could do that anywhere. It could be like after the 7, I could do ascending. So So 8, 6, 7, 5. I didn't do the 5, so I need the 5 before I do the 3. So 8, 6, 7, 5. I could do like the 1 string 5, and then the 3. So right. So it's just like twisting and turning and falling down the stairs kind of thing. But I'm not thinking about, am I playing in 4/4? Am I playing in odd time? I'm just only thinking about adding numbers to numbers and playing it whatever way I feel. You know, you can have them as a full stream of consciousness, or you could put, spaces in between them, but that's where the 0 comes in. You leave a space, right? So we got 8, 6, 7, 5, 3, now we have 0. So we don't play, and then we have a 9, so that could be 3 3s, or we could do a 4 and a 5, or a 5 and a 4. So let's say I do a 5 and a 4. I could do like, so 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 4, right? So I can have the whole phrase be. Oh wait, I missed the 7 in there. So. So that could be 8, 6, 7, 5, 3, or 9, but you could do that millions of different ways. So it's a really cool way to develop a rhythmic vocabulary that also gives you note choices that you wouldn't think, because so many things that we do on guitar are very guitaristic. This is not.
Yeah.
You know, so it opens things up to a lot of possibilities. So.
Is that how you learn kind of like the more difficult passages, like equals and what have you?
Yeah, like the black page and things. I just knew that my dad thought of 5s typically as 1 2 1 2 3, and so if I have to start to break something down and listen to what the phrasing is made out of, like if it's got 5s and 7s, I will figure out a way to compartmentalize each of those and practice them separately and then connect them, and then it helps me play through those things. The hardest stuff in my dad's music for me is if there's weird entrances on the and of something. You know, so you might have a time when you're playing and then you have to drop out and then you have to come back in, and it's, you know, there's a totally different pulse than what you are, expecting, and then you have to come in on the and of in a weird bar, and that kind of stuff. I can't easily count that stuff, or if I saw it on paper, it wouldn't make any sense to me. I have to internalize it and just get it as a feel thing. But the people in the band can read very well, so they can look at that and then practice it as written, whereas I have to memorize everything and do it as feel. So it's harder. Yeah.
How did you overcome the rhythmic complexities of your dad's music?
I haven't. They're always hard. They're always hard. Yeah.
Because I mean, as guitar players, we think of notes. We're not drummers. I mean, how do you?
Well, this helps when you can internalize what a 5 is supposed to sound like.
Yeah.
You can walk around your house just going 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 da 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 da, and you can start thinking of like, well, if I add another note, 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 4, And you can be like, okay, now I know how I can throw those things in. And then on the fly, you can start just playing stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, like I could put on a track and just go through numbers.
That
And
makes
it will sound like I'm playing crazy solo ideas, but I'm just thinking of numbers.
And you're not counting like these weird
No.
time signatures you're feeling.
Yeah, I'm basically always playing in 4.
Okay.
So now, when you hear me play some of this stuff, you'll be like, oh, there's a 5, there's a 7, and whatever, and it'll start to make sense. Headspace where it's like it's bluesy, it's groovy, it's oddball numbers, but the idea is to keep it flowing and keep it interesting for yourself and hopefully for the listener. Now, see how this has like it's a right angle? This is all magnetic. So if I have a guitar that needs a straight angle, I can just leave that in the guitar and I can just, you know, connect it to either guitar. If this one needs a right angle, I use that right angle jack.
Where's that been all my life?
Yeah, right.
Well, it's crazy because these things came out over 20 years ago, and then the company moved from making this stuff to making medical cables so that they can move stuff from place to place in the hospital and just connect magnetically.
What do we look up?
Well, apparently they don't make any of these things anymore. The company used to be called Zizex, and it was called a Snapjack. So you might be able to find some supplies somewhere. They don't affect the sound, like you get the normal sound, and they don't ever just like break unless you purposely push it, you know. So there's that. But let me find a sound palette here that will be good. So like, let's see what this sounds like with some kind of clean sound.
Noise.
How does it not pop when you
All right, so let's explore what this guitar does that the others don't do. So already, like on the neck pickup, this doesn't sound very Les Paul-ish. Now if I go, so that's this weird thing that happens with this guitar and this rig. I'm not sure. There's like almost like an electric pulse or something that when I switch through it, then it tries to gate it there, so you hear this like flipper sound. See, the thing is, I don't have like a distorted sound on right now. That all the gain is coming from the guitar right here. So if I go back to this pickup, it should sound more like that. But what happens here is I have there's a rotary switch. So let's just hear what it sounds like. I'll take it all the way to the right. Subtly changing some of the EQ character. I'll take it all the way to the right again. So it's basically the equivalent of a wah-wah pedal on a knob. Yeah, so you're opening the cue, making it wider or narrower, and so that's almost like a telly right there. You get that, you know? A lot of range, but then I have this knob which adds even more gain. So crazy sounds out of it. Well, he knew what he wanted, and then he had somebody build it. So the guy that built this stuff is actually my uncle, and he's the same guy that I'm working on the pedal with. So, yeah, he has a name that is his nickname that he goes by, which is Midget. So he has Midget Electronics, but his name is Arthur Sloatman.
That's your mom's brother?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So But yeah, so lots of cool sounds, and so the guitar is basically doing all the gain here. Like if I go back to this. It's pretty clean. It's got a lot of personality to it, and you can tweak it and do different stuff. Yeah, you can see why he liked it and played it a lot. Yeah.
What picks do you use, by the way?
It's weird. I switched because we were playing Van Halen and doing some stuff. I switched to the celluloid picks that he used to use when I first met him, which are super thin. They're like this is a 50 millimeter. Like you could snap it in half practically, and like a couple of pick slides and it's done. But I got used to them, and I switched to the bigger version instead of the small triangle. I liked having the 3 different tips, and if I did a pick slide, I could still salvage the pick if I needed to at some point. Let's see. So yeah, it's a little bit dark. Like if I was making it just for this guitar, it would have more clarity and be brighter. So I have that Octavia thing in this guitar, so it's just the out of phase. Demonstration of this pedal again, where it's like this is the half volume part. So if I turn my volume down, right now I turn it back up, and now I hit this button. It's the same as turning my volume down, So the benefit of that is that you have this ability to have easier access to rhythm sounds quickly, and it doesn't change the inductance it acts the same as your volume pedal or volume knob. So you get the same tone, but you have it accessible with your foot instead of having to wrestle with something. If you had to do a really quick change and you had to switch back to a pick, not as easy to do, another weird sound with this. Get it to all kinds of different places where it'll react to what you're giving it, and that's what's fun about this pedal. It's like you could use it with anything, and it will bring out the character of whatever you're giving it. It's like it's a more pedal, but you can really adjust the temperament of it. So there's a bias knob on it, and you can like give it some more grit, or you can open it up. You can make it gate itself, you know. So you heard it do a bunch of different things, and it's not even set, you know, right now. This sound that I have, it's not ideal for this guitar. Like this sound on its own could be more interesting, and it would just bring out more if I put that pedal on. But doing what it did, you know, I'm happy with that kind of stuff. Even, you know, like if I go to the max gain on it again, like that's still like the volume, you know, half volume. Sounds like something got, one of the cables got moved somewhere. Something is different, but anyway, the idea is that you can always go ahead and play and get the tone that you want, and then have different layers. You can also adjust the output of each channel. So you take a pentatonic idea like this. So if you were doing 2 notes per string, it gets cumbersome to pick that, right? So if you did it where it's 1, 2, 3, 3 notes on that string, 1, then 3, then 1, then 3. Now all you have to do with your pick is down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down. So it starts to be this thing where that's part of what it is you're just dragging the pick with gravity across the strings. So down, up, that's way faster and cleaner than I could do this way. You know, so it's really hard to do the 2-note per string version of that versus so one thing that you could do is, even without the pick, is, and this is actually, it'll drive you mad, but it's great practice, is to try to do it left hand only and do muting with your left hand. You know, use some for your right hand, but like, try to get those notes to come out. So I'm trying to like mute as much as I can with my left hand only, because if I can get my fingers to go exactly where they need to go, there will be reduced noise. But this is the kind of thing that you do need to practice with an amp so you can hear the noise that's being generated. It's really hard to go from here because your pinky and your third finger do not want to do fast movements, and going from string to string without the other string ringing, super hard. But you know, the benefit is once you have certain things that you can do, you can get these cool percussive sounds. So they can be useful in different situations. So I'm doing all this 3-1-3 type of stuff when I do that. So it's like 1, 2, 3. So I have a lot of that kind of stuff that I try to build into my playing. And like, you know, let me find a sound where I can kind of demonstrate how you can take that same idea all the way up the neck, and it sounds crazy. Get to a decent sound. Maybe this one. I didn't execute it perfectly, but you can see what is possible there, you know. And then if you try to get like palm muting with it. It's all 3-1-3 stuff there, but that's also helps you learn all the places where the pentatonic scale connects all the way